Texans and the Chiefs on Saturday at Arrowhead. So in case people missed it, Patrick Mahomes full practice today. Hollywood Brown full practice today. Houston was a 2-point road favorite when we thought Carson Wentz might be starting. Now it looks like Mahomes is going to start. Betting market seems to think so, Femi. At BetMGM, we are in between 2.5 and 3 for KC. So Chiefs 3 is the number at MGM, juice towards Houston. The total 41.5 heading under. Any bets here in this game now with the new point spread and the new information?
Yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes once we get later on in the week. If Mahomes continues to be a full participant, my guess is that we will hit the key number of 3. And maybe we go beyond that. And I think there's going to be a lot of optimism around Kansas City. Like, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, the best player in the sport, hasn't had the best season, but he's still the most valuable player in the sport from a totality standpoint. So, like, it's a Houston team that's really bad, coming off a win where they only had 200 yards of total offense, less than, for that matter, 180 yards against Miami. I think people are looking to fade Houston, and I was if it was going to be Carson Wentz. But now that it's Mahomes, I think we're just going to end up getting to the market that we should get with a compromised quarterback. Like, Nick, you mentioned he can play on the high ankle sprain, but can he play well on the high ankle sprain? That's my question with this game. And if he can't play well, which is going to be the premise that I operate under, I think I'm going to end up betting the Houston Texans if we get 3, like even money. If we ever got 3.5, I think that would be a great bet. This to me just feels like an ugly game, close game. Sounds like a Kansas City Chiefs game in 2024. So if it's going to be Mahomes, I'd be more interested in Houston than I would Kansas City.
I'll tell you what, we ever get to 2.5, I'm going to lay the Chiefs. We'll have much more clarity on this tomorrow if Mahomes is going to practice or not. We'll talk more about it coming up tomorrow. Okay, we've got news in the next game, which is serendipitous. Falcons and Giants Sunday in Atlanta. Raheem Morris, having media availability literally right now, was asked the question point blank by the Atlanta media, is Kirk Cousins still your starting quarterback? Raheem's response, and I quote, this is per Josh Kendall, who covers the Falcons for The Athletic, quote, we just got back. We still have to go through that process. All those things will happen over the course of the week. We didn't play well enough at the quarterback position. Michael Penix is going to start for the Falcons on Sunday.
Yep. That's exactly what he's saying. That's a pretty point-blank question, yes or no, and he gave you that little runaround. That means that Michael Penix is going to start. And with Penix,
well, I don't want to say definite, but let's say, I think you agree with me, right? Over 50% that Cousins is benched and Penix starts.
Why would you say that and then all of a sudden tomorrow say, yeah, Kirk's our guy? Like, why create the media storm? Why create a story out of this? They could definitely start Cousins, I guess. We also have to keep an open mind. But, you don't say that and then keep Cousins as quarterback. I think it's going to be Michael Penix, the guy who they're going to be starting. It's a bad team that they're going against. That's why it's a big number. But, have you ever seen a rookie lay 10? I'm not saying I want to bet the Giants, but I've also never seen a rookie lay 10. Gosh, I feel like you're betting the alts with this game. This is either Falcons rejuvenated, they go out there and they have a big-time game, or it's Penix is bad, this is a disaster, and the Giants maybe just win the game outright. I'm more inclined to bet the Penix good stuff, the alt stuff for the Atlanta Falcons than I would the Giants stuff, but I don't think I'd ever be betting 10. I don't think the number would close 10, but I think that you look for extreme outcomes with a rookie quarterback being thrown into this NFC South race.
Well, can I ask you, we don't know who the Giants are starting a quarterback on Sunday, right? We have no idea yet.
We do not know yet. No.
They were smart. They'd start
Boiler?
Tim Boyle. Yeah. So here's what I would like to do. I would like for Michael Penix to get announced as the Falcons quarterback. I want the Giants to get better, and then I want to bet Atlanta. I will bet against the Giants no matter who the Falcons quarterback is. Guys, okay, we need to move to another game because we don't have a lot of time. Tim Boyle, okay? Tim Boyle. Atlanta or nothing. We'll talk more about this once we get further confirmation on who the Falcons quarterback is going to be. Femi and I both think it's going to be Michael Penix. We can move
Falcons
past
alts.
Lions and Bears. We both like the Lions, right? Laying under a touchdown against Detroit. Talked about it in the first hour. Against Chicago, on the road at Soldier Field. We didn't really do the Bengals and Browns yesterday, and this is unfortunate. Since he's out to a 7.5-point favorite at home, the total's 47.5. My guess is, and I feel really strongly about this, is that DTR starts for Cleveland, not Jameis Winston. Honestly, I think Cincy's the teaser leg of the week. I don't know if I want to lay 7.5 with the Bengals, but tease them down to 1.5. Hashtag how does it lose?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not unfortunate. This just gives us a better way to go ahead and bet this game, which is the tease that you could pair it with Thursday Night Football. I know you like Denver in the game. Maybe you get that up to 8.5. How are the Chargers with a banged up Herbert ever winning that game by like double digits? Probably unlikely. You could tease it with the Houston Texans. I like Houston. Maybe that's the way you go ahead and do this, although that number might not close 2.5, so maybe that's the leg that you want to avoid. But I think you use this as an anchor as the teaser leg. Cincinnati was something because Joe Burrow's not going to lose to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's not going to happen. Like, it can happen, definitely, like, bet responsibly. But, like, I would like Joe Burrow in that a lot if I get that down to 1.5.
I agree completely. I said it first. So there you go. I agree. How about this? How about this? A little bit of line movement. Did I say this on the air yesterday, or did we talk about it off air when Drew was done? That at 4.5, I mean, if Mason Rudolph's going to start, I like the Tennessee Titans on the road at the Colts. Mm-hmm. Number's 3.5, so betting market agrees with me. Not that the bet has to win, but that Will Levis is basically the worst. So Indy 3.5 at home against the Titans, Femi, total 42.5. I bet 4.5. You have anything on this game?
I just wanted to ask you, what did you make of the Jeremy Fowler tweet, ESPN insider? Because he tweeted and said Mason Rudolph is the logical candidate to step in for starter Will Levis.
Rudolph's
okay, because there's no other funny business that might happen, like where they start like someone off the practice squad or anything like that. Like, I just wanted, because like I saw that and I just saw why is it not just Rudolph? Like, why is it logical candidate instead of just Mason Rudolph in line to start? Like that just gave me a little bit of pause.
I don't know. Like, we've talked about it. Like, these insiders sometimes think they're Shakespeare. It's like, just report the news, buddy. Like, do I need this? Like, do I need you to be editorializing here?
Think he's putting a little seasoning on it?
Well, I mean, like, listen, like, they're all great at their jobs, but it's like, yeah. I don't even want to get into this. Yes.
Yeah. I might just be reading too much into it. Maybe it's just Rudolph. But, like, I just saw that and I was like, what does that mean? But, yeah, I agree with you. Anything over a field goal, Rudolph, I think it's a bet on the Titans.
So you're with me. Tennessee. Yep. Even at 3.5.
Tennessee. I think so. Yep. 3.5. Still Titans. Tighten up.
I think 4.5 is way better, obviously, but that's the number I bet. I'd have to go back and look what I made the game. I don't know if I'm going to have that. Easy to find now, at least. Okay. Vikings and the Seahawks in Seattle. We don't know, right, who Seattle's quarterback is going to be yet. It feels like the betting market is saying it's going to be Geno. Minnesota's just a 3-point road favor right now at Seattle. The total's 42.5 for context. Green Bay just closed in between 2.5 and 3, and Seattle looked terrible in the game, and Geno got hurt in the game. So to me, this just looks fair. Like, maybe it's a little shaded towards Geno not playing, but I think this looks like a pretty fair price to me if Geno's going to play.
Yeah, Monday afternoon, Mike McDonald said that Geno should be able to practice and play this week. So I think we're all operating under the assumption that Geno's going to be good to go. At 2.5, I love Minnesota. At 3, I think the market's just right. At 3.5, I think I just passed the game. I don't want to bet on Geno Smith. Like, yeah, maybe he's good to go, but clearly he's not like 100%, and I hate betting on quarterbacks. We're not 100%, and by the way, the Minnesota Vikings, they're sending the house. They're sending the blitz with Brian Flores. I want no parts of the Seahawks in this game. It's Vikings or pass. Yeah,
the decision that I have to make is, do I want to lay Minnesota? And I don't know if I do yet. It's not Seattle. I think the Vikings will win. I don't know if I want to lay 3. You bet here on this Tuesday. Costos, Femi, the crew, and you. We're on the radar. Week 16. Regular season's almost over. Week 16. And the Christmas is next week?
Yep. Next Wednesday.
About the NFL's war on Christmas. Just want to hang out with my family, guys.
They don't want you to.
Moving on.
How about that Week 17 slate on Sunday?
Bills and the Patriots in Buffalo.
9 games.
Buffalo is a 2-touchdown favorite against New England. Femi, the total here is 47.
I actually cannot get to this number, which means I'm supposed to bet the New England Patriots, but, they're such a poorly coached team. The Bills seem to have all the juice. They have everything rolling along. Now, maybe they kind of let up because the schedule gets a little bit easier after playing this gauntlet of Niners, Rams, Lions, and all that stuff. But I think I'm just going to pass this game because I'm supposed to bet New England when I sort of think about where the point spread should be. But at 14, I'm going to pass 14.5. Maybe I'll bet something small on the Patriots.
So I bet, I don't say this to brag. Like, I texted Femi about it. Like, I bet a little 14.5 with New England on Sunday. Just because, like Femi said, I do my numbers so here's what I do every Sunday night. At 7 o'clock Eastern, I come downstairs to my studio, and I record my Westwood One betting update for Sunday Night Football that airs on the national pregame show for the Sunday night game. Then I go upstairs with my computer and I do my point spreads for the next week's games, like as Sunday Night Football is about to start. So, like, I've got all my work done by, like, the end of the first quarter, like, into this, before halftime of the Sunday night game, all my work's done. So, Patriots 14.5 was the number. I'm not there. I took a little bit of it, but I'll say to you, our audience, what I said to Femi, which is, like, okay, I think I made a good bet. We'll see what happens over the course of the week. Maybe the market will be into Buffalo. I did not make a big bet because I think the Patriots might get absolutely railroaded in the game. So, this is one of those where it's not the same thing because the Giants have quit, but I had a numerical edge on the Giants last week, but I said, I'm not going to do this because I think they're going to lose by 100. So I placed a small bet on it. So 14.5, I bet it. So I would have to say, like, I think 14.5 is a good bet on New England. But you make that bet when you click the button with the knowledge that it can go real sideways. Really sideways. So I don't know how helpful that is, but that's my honest train of thought with my bet on this game with Buffalo and New England.
Yeah, I think it's 100% honest. Like it's that time of the year too, where like we're getting late in the season. Some of these like big underdogs, are they all the way locked in against these playoff contending teams? You see some of these big spreads, Ravens, Giants, prime example. Sometimes the favorite just covers that number. Like I don't think the Patriots are going to be like that, like you said, but still, like sometimes these big underdogs, they just kind of lay an egg. Holidays are around the corner. Are they all the way locked in? Seems doubtful for all 53.
Dude, also, like the Patriots, I'd have to go back and look, but I mean, I bet them a couple times. Like, I bet them against Miami. Got blown out. Bet them against Arizona. Took the overall, so thank God it got hit that at the very end. Bet them against Arizona. Arizona covers. So it's like they're like one of these teams that gets bet every week as a big dog, and they never frickin' cover. So, yeah, here's a small bet on 14.5. We'll see how it goes. 3 more games.
Now here's Josh Allen.
And here's Josh. Yeah, here's the MVP. Man, this is not exactly Bills-Lions in the 4 o'clock slate this week. Raiders and Jaguars in Vegas, a pick'em, Femi. Total 39.5. We think Aiden O'Connell might be starting a quarterback for the Raiders in this game, not Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, I saw that news earlier this morning, and I actually bet the Las Vegas Raiders at a pick'em price. I got even money on the money line. This, to me, is just a coin flip kind of a game, which I would give a slight edge to the Raiders. Like, when I thought about it, like, if it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, I think Raiders under a field goal is your proper number. We see a couple ones. Pick'em is the consensus number. I just don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road, going out west, a team that has just, like, completely done with this year. I'm taking the Raiders. May God have mercy on my soul. I think they win the game.
I think if the Raiders get bet like a plus money line on Jacksonville, I would bet the Jaguars. Jacksonville is so much more, and Jacksonville stinks. The Jaguars are so much more talented than the Raiders. Like, no Crosby? Man. I don't know if I can make the bet. But I would never bet the Raiders as a favorite in this game, or in any game the rest of the season.
12 personnel.
Here we come. Niners and the Dolphins. They love it. Niners and the Dolphins on Sunday in South Beach. This opened almost 3. Now Miami's 1. Dolphins -1 against the Niners, total 44.5. Both of these teams 6-8 season, circling the old drain.
Yeah, I want to know the status of the 2 left tackles because that's a massive thing. Like, Teron Armstead did not play against the Houston Texans. Well, here's Tua getting sacked all over the place, fumbling the ball around, throwing interceptions. Trent Williams, the Niners offense hasn't looked the same without him, and that's why this total's gotten slammed to the under. Like 49.5, now down to 44.5, 45.5 in a couple of places. Like, I see this being a lower scoring game. There might be a little bit of meat left on the bone on the under just because these 2 offenses aren't very good, but as to who's going to win, your guess is as good as mine. I think it should be Miami under a field goal, and that's where we stand right now. But if we head towards Niners favored, maybe I look at the Miami Dolphins as a teaser leg, but I don't feel too confident about this game.
I think I'm going to bet the Dolphins here. I think pick'em is a crazy price in this game. I don't think the Dolphins are great, but I also don't think the Niners are great. Let me ask you, just quickly, and then we'll do Monday night. Which team are the vibes better for right now, Dolphins or Niners?
Oh, it's got to be Dolphins. I mean, the Devondre Campbell's been a story since Thursday.
And it's really bad for both, to be clear. Vibes are bad for both. If this is going to be what it is, what's the money line on Miami right now? -120, I'm going to bet the Dolphins. It's not going to be one of my favorite bets of the week, but I'm going to bet the Dolphins. And we'll close with Monday Night Football. What a game this is going to be. Packers and the Saints in Green Bay. Presumably Spencer Rattler starting for New Orleans. Betting market says it won't be Carr. Green Bay 13.5 at home, total 42.
It's another one I can't get to this number being that big. Maybe Darren Rizzi is the NFC version of Antonio Pierce, and he covers this number. But with Rattler, Lambeau Field, I'm gonna pass this game. Like, I just can't do it. I can't.
I'm nowhere close to this number.
Where are you at?
Not 13.5. Not there. To the point that I feel like I should bet the Saints, but like you, this is one of those where you kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, when the game starts, how am I going to feel about this? And the answer is terrible. So let's think. We have time to figure it out. The game's on Monday. No play for right now for me on Green Bay and New Orleans.